Happy Friday, everybody. This is Coffee and Crypto with your trading bros. I'm your host, Clutch. We got P. Wellington already, on the charts. As always, we had a slight little, just a few
No, we're
dollars.
not doing. We're
They-
not
They're
doing
not
that.
really doing much.
They're not doing
Are we
anything.
going to keep
They don't
pulling
want you to
down?
win.
Are we going to get a little reversal and dive off into the weekend? Let's find out.
I mean, look. Here's the reality of it. You got all this Celsius going on. You got bombshells that are going off. I mean, there's like major bombs going off in crypto. But hey, this is what people wanted, right? People want decentralized. They want no government help. They want the market to act like the market acts. And this is part of the process of weeding out, right, individuals that have created all this liquidity. This is a part of the process. So people, this is what you asked for.
Is that
Let's
the
not.
daily?
This is the daily.
And
It
the
looks like
50
it looks
just
like the
broke
1 minute.
just broke below the 800.
It's just, dude, this is
Oh shit.
yeah. So remember we were up here, right? Go back and watch the shows if you want to. We talked about this pattern that always kind of plays out, right?
Yeah.
Always kind of plays out.
Yeah.
It's a high probability trade. Let's just put it like that. When you have the 800 that crosses over, right? So the closer we get to this cross, the more people are going to realize, oh shit, it's going to cross. My dumbass needs to go short. And and we'll probably have another capitulation down, another drawdown to trap people that see this fast coming, right? And then as soon as you get enough weighted to the shorts, this motherfucker's gonna come all the way back up and use all that liquidity, right? And then people are gonna call the bottom. They're gonna call the bottom. They're gonna say the crypto markets is back. They're gonna load all their money in, and then it's just gonna come right back down and take out those shorts, and then it's gonna sit there for a minute. You heard it here, folks. First, folks.
That's right. That's right. So do you think we're going to get a bounce from here now in this area, or do you think we get back down and test these lows?
It depends on the liquidity that comes into the market. Long liquidity tastes a lot better than short liquidity, baby. Long liquidity tastes like motherfucking apple pie with some fucking caramel ice cream, baby. Short liquidity, yeah. Short liquidity, it's all right. It's a brownie with some vanilla, but you know what I'm saying? Like that long liquidity is sweet, and so they're always gonna take, and they're gonna take all of that liquidity out, right, before they get them shorts on board. Because let's also be realistic. Shorts are smarter plays, right? Shorts are more, and I'm not saying that to be, say anybody that takes longs are dumb. But what I'm saying is to be able to short is another skill level, and it's like skill level B. Therefore, skill level B normally does things a little bit more strategically. They normally have shorts in play or stops in place. They normally are a little bit more sophisticated, and so it's harder to trap shorts, right? And so that's why over time you'll see that most of the liquidity that's being exhausted is going to be on the long side, just over a period of time. So shorts are going to play better than longs. That's just probability and everything else.
Sure.
So that's what I see on the daily. If we hop down into the hourly, uh, you know, this line here has been drawn since we've been kind of in this area. This is this peak here. And the fact that they're bringing down the daily open, right? And we have yesterday's low right here in play. I like a move to the downside. I mean, if you want to say that this is kind of a, shout out to Traders Reality, a W formation that's forming here after this low here. If this, comes down and doesn't break this low here, then yeah, you could probably say that we're on that way. But I just, from a trappiness standpoint, I'd like to see it really capitulate down more to get more shorts on board before they make that move to the upside, because I think a lot of folks are anticipating the move to the upside because we've gone down so much. And when everybody anticipates something to happen, it normally does the opposite. And so, moving down to things like the 14-minute that we would take a look at, I mean, the futures market just opened on the New York side, so we kind of had a little bit of bounce off of the daily open. The daily open, somewhat of a of a magnet. But this little bounce to the upside, I mean, we're still 6 minutes into it. I mean, it looks a little choppy. Could recover these vectors on this end, and then trot back to the downside and move back down. I mean, that's what I would anticipate. We got to kind of watch and see how it goes. It is very early in the market. These are the times in which are the most trappiest. Trappy as far as the stop hunts are concerned. And look at that on the 1 minute. We're starting to get a little bit of, resistance on the 200 on the 1 minute. I mean, we're right here. The daily open is still fairly close. I mean, what I like to see is to come down, break that daily open. That shows me that they're taking a lot of the stops out. For people that went long at the daily open, I like to see a lot of activity here, and then some strong moves, which really moves to the upside and has this 200 crossover over the 50, and then come up to some of the peaks we talked about, break this U.S. Brinks. I mean, that's what I'd like to see for the upside, and it still may happen. We're still early on the session, 7 minutes into it, so be careful on that end. I was looking at this earlier. This is the Binance ETH USD perp, right? I think you've got, as this moves down, you got a lot of people getting on opening positions, I would say. I believe those positions are going to be short. You've got, this accumulation distribution. I like to take a look at that as well to see how, any divergences. Haven't seen any there, but spot hasn't responded. This is on the 1 hour. But spot has been down. As soon as spot responds, especially in a market in which we have probably little to no OI left. I mean, look at this. We're at $3.3 billion in OI. So this is almost completely a spot market at this point in time, as far as influence is concerned, and spot seems to be dropping. If we looked at things like funding rate, I mean, we've got both Binance, USDT, and coin margin. One of the things that I do also anticipate is, these exchanges are losing money as well. I mean, they have assets that are out there. A lot of these things are blowing up, these stable coins, and depending on what your exposure is, Binance is going to have some open positions. I mean, they're going to try to trade their way out of this. Bybit, we've got USDT margin negative, and, Bybit, or in the coin margin, we've got a little bit of a mixed bag here, but sentiment's starting to turn short, right, with the falling prices. And so we always kind of take a look at that. Futures were up. Well, there we go. They're moving back up. But they were really up earlier this morning as far as the futures are concerned, came back down and now pushing back up. These are good numbers to see with Dow moving up and Bitcoin moving down.
Wow.
Right, inverse. So we've got also oil at 115. It was at 120 early this week. Gold is flat as normal. And so not a lot going on. Like after the days we've had 700 points on Dow, S&P moving in big moves like this, I would consider this to be flat. I mean, this is nothing but, folks trying to fish that bottom in the traditional markets. Hey man, hope is what keeps you alive, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Bank of England hikes interest rates to 13-year high. Wells Fargo says U.S. Right, like South Africa considers buying Russian oil. Hey man, cheap people like discounts.
Yeah, they do.
People like, and Russian oil is at a discount right now. And if you're an economy that uses a shit ton of oil and you can go out and get it on a discount in order to position yourself better and lessen inflation. I mean, politicians are going to be under a whole lot of pressure in order to do so. And so, I see that as something that continues to happen. I mean, we've got some remarks coming in at 8:45, which is just a little bit. And then we've got industrial production. I mean, I don't know how these times work, but this is already out, right? And so, I don't see anything that, is really major news-wise. Right, we've got a bunch of comments coming out next week. We got a lot of speakers, a lot of comments. These have been all very hawkish at this point in time. They are committed to get inflation under control. Whether or not they can do that with the tools available to them, I don't know. Did you see where, Biden came out? It's interesting because we just had this conversation. Biden came out and was trashing the refineries for limiting production and all this other kind of stuff. And I think Shell or Chevron came out with a statement and was like, "It's your fucking policy, dude. You're making the policy. You're causing." I mean, they didn't say it like that. I mean, but they basically said it's a global market. We don't control it. We're just responding to it, and your policy is getting in the way of us responding the way that could be beneficial to the economy. Anyway,
Oh,
that's all I got.
I like that. That's great.
Let's see what we got on
Oh,
Bookmap and
let's
the High Block.
see what we got, man.
Oh man,
That's
we're getting a little pumpy on it, at least on Ethereum.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is High Block Capital. It's something we look at every morning here. We're back at a negative 10 billion cumulative liquidation delta here.
Spit it out.
Yeah, I know. Get it all out. So we have a big liquidation that's right down here in this area at 1026. We haven't got back down to there since the last time we visited it. So pay attention. If we get down into that range, it's also going to be a new low for us. So be prepared to continue some more downside action if we get down into that area and break a new lower low. However, if we do get a bounce, I mean, we're starting to bounce right now, but this is a very good opportunity to get trapped, just like B. Wellington mentioned a while ago. So the key areas that we're looking to break out of is going to be around 1244. So we want to make a new higher high and start working our way up. If we're going to see some more upside action, I do kind of anticipate that after the markets close today, retail is going to take control over the weekend. And I'm not going to be surprised if we see some movement to the upside over the weekend, but I don't think anything's going to be too significant. So those are the key areas to pay attention to that I just talked about, kind of what happens when we get to those areas. Those are the areas that we're looking at. And then this is the Bookmap here, and as you can see right now, the chart volume profile that we're looking at here, which is everything that's been happening in the last couple of hours. Let me zoom out just a little bit, get a little bit of this, a little bit more of this filled in. However, as you can see, we have some big orders up here. That's only one person right around 1112. So that these orders can easily get spoofed and moved up. And as you can see, they're trying to leave price upward right now because right here, these areas of liquidity were right here, and as we started moving up, the bottom and the top kind of moved up with it. So this is an indication that we might be seeing some upside potential. 1212 is going to tell us what we need to know if we get a bounce around that area, because that's the top of the volume profile, right, guys? So we're either going to break out of that or we're going to get a bounce and see some more some either ranging or downside action. Right now, orders are heavy to the downside, but don't let that fool you as far as these orders, because we are working on reversing our CVD, which is at negative 6,300. So we're starting to work our way back up into a positive direction, which is also a good indication that we could potentially see some upside movements. But again, I think this area is these upside movements are probably going to be pretty short-lived. As far as long-term liquidity that we have that's still out there on the market, zooming out right now so we can get a look at that. I do apologize for the delay. There's a lot of data on this particular platform here. So let me, hopefully this will work out. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, some more liquidity popped up right here, right before the open. You see this. We were yellow, now we're orange right here at 1,000. 1,000 is going to be kind of a big guy to get through this morning or today if we decide to go down there. And then we have long-term liquidity at 900 and of course down at 850. And I would be willing to say that we probably have even some more to the downside right here. As soon as this populates today.
As soon as it populates.
Yeah, Bueller.
We can populate these nuts.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, so we have, look at this, man. This is 800. This is 25,000 cluster orders.
Lower.
750's got another 20,000 cluster orders. 700, 10,000 cluster. Yeah, so these are the big players. Yeah, I think we're heading that way. So it looks like again, we don't have a whole lot of indicators or any confluence that we're going to see any type of big movement to the upside right now. So I would actually say that this movement that we're seeing to the upside right now could very well possibly be a trap. That's all I have.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, you kind of have to play the least crowded trade. It's become more difficult as more people has become, bearish, to really determine what the most popular trade is. And we play this game as a, kind of as a market manipulation game. But at a certain point, macro just has to take over because there's liquidity that's taken out of the market. So if a lot of people are sitting in cash. A lot of people are they going to move into crypto first, or are they going to move into stocks first? On the rebound, like this rotation and liquidity that's out there, you just got to pay attention to it. And I think since more people are bearish now, they're calling for the downside. That trade could get a little crowded, right? But timing when the institutions and market makers see enough liquidity in order to go and liquidate or try to liquidate, that's the tough part of the game, is that timing. And we all know that eventually this bitch has to go back up because of the liquidity that's out there. I mean, not to say it'll stay up. I mean, it could go to zero. But it's not going to go to zero with a bunch of shorts sitting on top of it. It's going to go get that money first. And so it's just a matter of time. And, we'll just have to stay on top of it and see what happens.
For sure, for sure. Guys, we'll see you Monday, same time, same place, 8:15 Central Standard Time. And catch us on Keaton's Corner this Sunday night around 7.